Malcolm-Jamal Warner, affectionately known as Theo to all of us who grew up with him on The Cosby Show, has passed away unexpectedly in Costa Rica. By now, we all heard the news, but I still wanted to give him my flowers. Let's talk about it. They 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 talk about it. Welcome back to She Could Talk the Podcast. I'm your host, Gangali. Hey. And that's Gangalee on all streaming platforms if you want to check out my music. But today I'm not even going to stay long on it because this is very upsetting. You already know this is She Could Talk the Podcast. This is where I react to everything: news, sports, crime, musicians, politicians, YouTubers, TikTokers. If they're talking about it, we're talking about it. And unfortunately today I have to talk about one of my personal first crushes, Malcolm-Jamal Warner. Malcolm-Jamal Warner has passed away. Okay, it's with heavy hearts for all of us. You see the outpouring of love. You're seeing so many people, myself included, just putting up so many different tributes to him, and you just realize that in the grand scheme of things, like hindsight 2020, he was so unproblematic. Okay, not only was he America's son because he grew up on the Cosby Show and we grew up right alongside him. Not only was he, and he was older than me, so I was more like the Vanessa on this show. You know what I'm saying? I'm more like Vanessa's age on the show. I never forget. I used to say, like, my brother was Theo, I was Vanessa, and my cousin was Rudy, my little cousin, because we all grew up together, whatever. Then I had, two older, cousins that were kind of like Denise and Lisa, Denise and Sandra's age. So we all associated our relatives, our siblings with them, growing up because they were our household cousins and family or crushes in some instances, because I definitely loved Theo back then. I won't lie to you. So to see him grow, to see him mature, he was on the show with Eddie Griffith. Then he was on the show Read Between the Lines with Tracy Ellis Ross. Then he did so many different shows. He was a doctor on I can't even think right now all of the different shows he was on, right? But the thing that happened lately, he had a podcast called Nah Podcast. And I think the Nah standard for Not All Hood, right? And on the show, he highlighted moments like, hey, we're losing our grip on hip hop because everything is just like the rhetoric is drugs. All the women are bitches. All the women's are hoes. All the men gotta have a op. Everyone has to kill each other. And that's not what hip hop is about. And I agree with him. I agree. That's not what hip hop is about. In around 1990, I don't even think he was 21 yet. He might have been 21. I don't know. But Bill Cosby allowed him to direct a couple of episodes on The Cosby Show. That then led him to directing Special Ed's video. Look that up. Look that up. That's my childhood. You know what I'm saying? And Special Ed did the video, and then in the video, at the end of the video, Malcolm-Jamal Warner starts dancing, and he just looks so cool. Looks so cool. When he did that for me as a teenager, as a kid or whatever, and I saw him go from the Cosby Show being this cool teenager, he's always like the cool one. Theo was always cool. He was funny, but he was always cool. And then you see him dancing and being kind of still Theo on Special Ed's music video as a kid. That messed me up. In my mind, he was my boyfriend, and his name was Theo. You couldn't tell me otherwise, right? I was probably like, when he did the Eddie Griffin show, I realized his name was Malcolm-Jamal Warner. Now I already knew his name, but for real, he was always Theo to me. Even when I heard he passed away, I put his picture up. I said, hashtag forever Theo. I'm going to put that even here. Hashtag forever Theo. You know what I'm saying? Because he was a real one. And what I liked about him is he was a celebrity in every right. He was a actor, he was a musician, he was a poet, he won a Grammy, Emmys, or is it Emmys for TV? Yeah. He's won accolades. He's done his thing. as an artist, right? And he married his wife, I want to say maybe about 10 years ago, and they have a young daughter. And he, even on his podcast, he mentioned how he keeps his wife and his children private because he wants them to have a full life and not to be scrutinized. You know, sounds like a man that respects his family, right? Let me hit that laughter. So he said he would never, being the celebrity he is, right? He would never want to put his wife and kid in harm's way or having them have to deal with that, right? Because he's the celebrity. He wants a normal life for them. So you never seen his daughter, you never seen his wife. You know, I've seen his wife, but for the most part, you know, they lived a private life, right? And he went to Costa Rica and had an accidental drowning. And then I seen several videos of him like boarding the plane. I seen him giving words of gratitude to people that were speaking out on his behalf, which I don't know what that was about, but people speaking out on his behalf, you know. And it was just like hindsight looking at it. It was very telling and like almost a foreshadowing of what we're looking at now. But what I wanted to do was just kind of get into like they said that the news, ABC News stated that they had new details on his drowning. So I wanted to kind of cover that. I'm not staying here long because this really was like a blow to my whole childhood, guys. It really was.
We saw it pop up. A stunning death of actor Malcolm-Jamal Warner, who rose to fame. You know that face. He still looks exactly like Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show. Investigators say in Costa Rica, he drowned after getting caught in a rough current. ABC's Victor Akindo joins us live from San Jose in Costa Rica with the latest. Victor, it is just something I think that hit everybody because we all grew up with the Huxtables.
Yes.
You're right. You either watched them grow up or you grew up with them. So overnight, that we heard from Costa Rica's Red Cross. They're the ones that responded to the beach where this happened. When they arrived, they said that two bystanders.
Let me tell you. Look, I had to pause it. I know this is not really a laughing matter, but look at the news reporter's face. And that's another thing that I've been noticing from Diddy's trial, from any type of news situation that I cover, the sound and the conditions, even if they're in office editing the news reel or whatever, the sound is horrible. Shout out to us content creators out here. And I'm not gonna say I'm perfect because every day I'm learning and I'm getting better. But I'd be like, yo, we be running circles around some of these news people with their sound because but his face is even like, really? Did you just park me on the main road and all this is in my background? But anyway, let's get back to it. Hopefully he can tell us what's going on.
Bystanders pulled two men. Sorry about that. It's a little loud here in San Jose. Pulled two men from the water.
Oh.
One of them was in critical condition. The other was Malcolm-Jamal Warner. Tragically, the beloved actor died at the scene.
Yes, this is Theodore.
So that's the thing that concerns me because they said that his wife reported that he went for a morning solo swim by himself. Who is that other guy?
Huxtable.
This morning, fans around the country mourning the tragic loss of The Cosby Show star
Look at him.
Malcolm-Jamal Warner.
She will always be my son.
Yes.
The 54-year-old actor was reported.
And that's how I feel. I feel like, you know, people could say what they want to say. Bill Cosby's part of my childhood. You know what I'm saying? Lisa Bonet, Denise, Claire Huxtable, Felicia Rashad, Raven Simone, Olivia. You know what I'm saying? Even the military guy that Denise married. I can't think of his name right now, but I see his face right now. Sandra and her husband. God, he had the nerdy name. I see his face right now. But remember, Tyler Perry gave him a job because he was working in the grocery store not that long ago. Well, no, I didn't mean that. I meant to do the clap. I meant to do the clap, guys. But shout out to Tyler Perry for giving him a job and putting him back where he needed to be. But all of them was like an extension of family. Alvin was the son that was married to Sandra. Oh man. All right, let me get through
Reportedly
this.
on vacation when authorities say he accidentally drowned in the Caribbean Sea at this beach in Limon, Costa Rica, Sunday afternoon. A first responder from the Red Cross saying Warner and another man were swept away by a strong current, which is common in that area. Bystanders tried to rescue Warner, but by the time authorities arrived at the scene, he had no pulse. The other man transported in critical condition. The official cause of death, asphyxiation by submersion. For 8 seasons, Warner played the endearing, humorous Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show, the sitcom becoming a cultural phenomenon. This morning, tributes pouring in. Tracy Ellis Ross, who played Warner's on-screen wife, writing, "You were my first TV husband. My heart is so sad. You made the world a brighter place."
I feel her on that because he was my first TV boyfriend. You don't even understand. You know, like when you're young and you're like figuring it out, like I like guys that look like Theo. You know what I'm saying? Like you start looking at him, man. Oh man, he was my first crush. I'm not gonna lie, guys. It's so true that he was my first crush. That my mom was devastated by this because we watched the Cosby Show as a family in my house. My mom called me and was like, "Colleen, did you hear?" Because she knows he was my first, in my mind, boyfriend. In my mind, not in real life. My mom told me not to tell nobody out loud. But whatever. But yeah, something to lighten up the mood because this is very sad.
The actor leaving behind a wife and daughter, posting this video a few months before he passed away, a flower given to him by his daughter tucked behind his ear.
Just wanted to remind you, as I remind myself, that no matter what's going on, there's always a reason to smile.
You hear him?
Warner has been transported to a facility just outside of where we are in San Jose. There will be an autopsy, but for now, this is being considered an accidental drowning. Charlene, Sam, Pedro.
Heart's broken over this.
Everybody's. He was America's nephew, boy crush, son. And I don't care what anyone says about, because I'm super tired of my childhood being destroyed, from Bad Boy on down to the Cosby Show on up. I'm just tired of it being destroyed. But at the end of the day, you know, I don't care what anyone want to say about Bill Cosby and what he did or didn't do in his past life or his personal time or whatever the case may be. He brought us something so genuine, and he brought us all together, regardless of the race, our culture, our background, our demographic, or our financial situation. 8 o'clock on a Thursday night, we all was in front of that TV, and we all had a character we could relate to. You know what I'm saying? We all had a character. To see Felicia Rashad as a black woman speaking Spanish, that was like so much for me because that's my family to some degree. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like people would look at us like we were crazy because like you black. You ain't supposed to be doing that. You know what I'm saying? So Felicia Rashad gave us, she did, but Bill Cosby gave us representation as black people, not, black from New York, not black from the South, not black from Jamaica, not black from Africa, black people, black culture. And he gave us a representation and made us say, hey, look, you can go to college. You can become a doctor. You can become a lawyer. You can get married and have your own kids and raise them together. Okay? And I can say that my generation going forward, you do see a lot of marriage. You see a lot of people together. A lot of people raising their kids, The generations before, maybe not so much. But I could see, and especially as the generations are getting younger, they're settling down, they're getting married, they're having kids together, And I'd like to say that Bill Cosby played a part in that, because he projected that image into our home, regardless if you were Spanish, if you were black, if you were whatever, white. We all watched the Cosby Show, and it brought us all together every Thursday at 8 o'clock. So to Malcolm Jamal Warner's family, I want to say my condolences, okay? Because I know I ranted and raved how he was my TV boyfriend, but in no way, shape, or form or fashion am I trying to take this away from you all. You know, to his wife, to his daughter, to his family, his friends, I send my condolences to you all. I give a little condolences to Bill Cosby and his TV family. Well, I give a lot of condolences to his TV family as well, because they were together for 8+ almost a decade. Okay, on that show they grew up together, so they were family, you know. And for him to have grown up to be such an unproblematic man, he was a renaissance man, you know. Always spoke good, always spoke positive. You just saw it even down to the end. One of his last streams, or you know, lives, or whatever you want to call it, he was like, hey, I'm grateful for the people that stood up for me. But I do have a little bit more questions. So guys, if you know anything else, or if you come across anything else, because this kind of has my spidey senses tingling now. I didn't see this news. I just said, click, I'm reacting to this one just to kind of give my condolences. But I thought he went for a solo swim. Now, did the current, was it so powerful that it took two people that were swimming separately out? Who's this other guy that was out there? Who's the other guy? But you know, if more information comes out, I will circle back. You know how I do, because my spidey senses is tingling a little bit. But I'm gonna leave it right here, and I'm gonna send my condolences out one more time to his family and friends. You know, the TV family, his real family, his daughter, his wife. I send you love, healing, strength, keeping you all in my prayers, and I'm gonna leave y'all with the brand. If you like anything I do, tell a friend. If you don't like anything I do, tell a friend. And from my lips to your ears, I love you, but I need you to go ahead and love me. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Turn on your notifications. You know, share it. Tell a friend. Tell a friend. Join me in the comments. Don't meet me there. Beat me there. Okay? And until next time, it's your girl Gongalee. It's She Could Talk the Podcast, and I'm out. Peace.